Technology is changing science fiction concepts into a reality. What was first thought as imagination is now physical and visible.
Fantastic inventions are in the midst. From robotics to machine learning to artificial intelligence, advancements abound everywhere.
Accelerating technology means you have to keep up. What was a game changer last year is obsolete.
The clock is ticking.
Brace yourselves.
For we have seen
The future.
In every episode, we will look at both the online and offline worlds to explore what is next in technology. We're not just giving you a peek, we're giving you a front row seat.
If it's game-changing, innovative, it's here on The Future.
And trust me, you don't want to miss a second. Here's what's happening in the next 30 minutes. We got an exclusive chat with the brains behind Sigma Manila, Eman, CEO and founder.
Online gaming, iGaming, and tech businesses, they have little to no boundaries, right? They can expand and think global faster than any other businesses that require brick and mortar as part of their business.
And if that wasn't enough to get you tech excited, I got to sit down with Ed, the PR director of Nine Dynasty, and we talked about his take of the future of luxury experiences.
One of our key showcase projects is namely Dynasty eGames, which the games is taking place in VIP baccarat tables of those well-known and land-based casinos. It offers our foreigner guests to play at their own convenience times through the internet, 24/7.
And later, we got an in-depth interview with Gary Vee, one of the most influential and famous OG influencers and creators of VCon. It's really about his revolutionary way of putting people and experiences together.
Pop culture is a framework that matters. And, it's just how I think about everything, and I think there's so much opportunity if you understand it, so that's a big theme to your point. People confuse it. They hear ambition and humility, and they think there's potentially a contradiction in that. I actually think there's incredible strength in it, and they're required to sustain.
But first, let's not keep you waiting. Jared, tell us about Sigma Manila.
Yes, Dan, Sigma Manila was a game changer. It was all about bringing people and events together. Now, they're really all about reinventing the Boeing Conference into a festival for people to come and get educated while networking on another level. Let's dive in, shall we? Welcome to Sigma Manila 2023. So we're gonna walk around, we're gonna talk to people, we're gonna see what it looks like. And I have no expectations. I know for certain this is about gaming, betting, casinos, a little bit of blockchain, crypto, AI, that's right up my alley. So join me as we take a look inside this event. You guys enjoy the show. Let's see what this is all about. I just want to kick it off right off the bat, Eman. I was able to walk around the event. I took a look at what you guys are doing, and it's different. It almost feels like a festival. I see that there's a gambling component, a gaming. What do you have going on exactly that's different than the rest?
Yeah, look, there's great tech activity going on. NFTs, metaverse, DeFi, all the fintech that's coming in. And the vertical that has been most vociferous at embracing all this tech is the iGaming space, right? So we have great relationships with these iGaming companies all over the world. And Sigma is there to bring together the iGaming community with the tech community. And we've been witnessing some amazing deals happening throughout these summits that we do all over the world. I like to see Sigma as a vehicle that's driving change, right? You get tech people who are purists that would never go to an iGaming conference. They wouldn't go to a casino or a sports betting conference. No, they wouldn't go. The same with the casino people. They would never go to a pure tech conference. But because of the conference we're bringing those two verticals closer together, and the potential for cross-pollination has been fantastic. Online gaming, iGaming, and tech businesses, they have little to no boundaries, right? They can expand and think global faster than any other businesses that require brick and mortar as part of their business. And because of that, they need to understand the dynamics of each market. I talk not of globalization, but I talk of glocalization. It's important that you go local with your global mission, if that makes sense, right? So that's why we have literally one conference every 2 months where we're targeting a different market to help these companies grow and understand those markets better.
I think we appreciate that. So walk us through to the Asia International Summit is here in Manila, in the Philippines. Why the Manila?
Why Manila? Manila has done extremely well in regulating the iGaming space, thanks to PACCOR, thanks to CESA, thanks to other bodies, government bodies. And for that reason, we felt that Manila is the prime contender as the gaming hub of Asia. They're also embracing blockchain technology vociferously. Let's not exclude that there's millions of Filipinos who are unbanked until this day today. So they find a bigger use case in embracing blockchain technology and a number of apps that is driving fintech industry forward. I love the Philippines. I love the Filipino people. They are the nicest people on earth. But you have no idea how happy I am to be back.
That's great. Do you know what this says right here? Do you know what this means in Tagalog?
Tell me more. No.
It means I love you. There
Oh.
you go. How much we
I
care
love
about
that.
you.
Thank
We
you.
love you very much.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What is the future of in-person experiences going to be like? Nine Dynasty is going to redefine how we look at luxury experiences and what we would call the future of IRL.
The future of Nine Dynasty is indeed exciting and highly anticipated.
Incredible insights from Sigma. Speaking of incredible, Dan, chat with Ed was very intriguing.
It sure was, Kate. Nine Dynasty is going to redefine how we look at luxury experiences and what we would call the future of IRL.
Now hold on to your seats because we're just getting started.
Super excited to be here with Ed, the PR director of Nine Dynasty Group. We're talking to what is the future of in-person experiences going to be like? Ed, welcome.
Well, thank you very much. Nice to meet you guys.
So Ed, let's talk. Nine Dynasty Group is a VIP junket that is participating at this expo. Talk us through some of the projects that are being introduced by Nine Dynasty Group.
Well, first of all, the Nine Dynasty Groups as one of the leading VIP gaming junkets in Philippines. This is our honor to be invited to participate in the gaming industry expo this year. And one of our key showcase projects is namely Dynasty eGames, which the games is taking place in VIP baccarat tables of those well-known and land-based casinos that under PACCOR's regulation and supervision. It offers our foreign guests to play at their own convenience times through the internet, 24/7. So we always enhance our high-level service of center, safe, trustworthy gaming experience.
I heard that Nine Dynasty Group won the Best Gaming Junket Award. Congratulations. And would love to hear your thoughts on this award.
Yes, on behalf of all the employees of Nine Dynasty Group, we sincerely express our gratitude to our guests and business partners for their recognition and support. Needless to say, the Best Gaming Junket Award is definitely a great honor and encouragement for us. So apart from the 3 VIP junket rooms in Solaire, Okada, and Newport Well Resort, so we recently opened 2 more new junket rooms in Royce Hotel Clark and Cebu New Star. This year, we also launched our membership reward program. This offers our members to redeem their points for 5-star hotel accommodation, for luxury limousine service, for fine dining experience at Michelin-star restaurant. Not only for that, also for private jet, private yacht cruise service.
You guys stayed being the leader, even if it was only developed for 2 years. During the pandemic, a lot of your competitor exited, but you guys stayed and even grow bigger. What are your future plans for development?
Well, we do have our plans in the next 3 years. Like we're going to expand our business to Asia, such as Japan, South Korea, and Vietnam. We also are seeking the opportunity to establish a licensee entertainment platform to offer the lottery, esports, and card games based on the market needs.
It's amazing. I love that you're adding in the esports, like the gaming, the esports. It just seems like something that goes hand in hand, and your VIP experiences.
Yes, because we always keep our ongoing commitment to offer a variety of the games to our VIP guests.
The future of Nine Dynasty is indeed exciting and highly anticipated. Can you give us your perspectives on future development trends in this industry?
Yes, we believe the development trends in the gaming industries are heading to digitization, intelligence, and innovation, leading the way to the future. This includes the VR and AR, which bring a new level of immersive gaming experience to the gaming industry. On the other hand, AI and data analytics can also provide personalized and customized games based on players' behavior, patterns, and preference. From now on to the future, Nine Dynasty Group will proactively respond to the trends of technological development, keeping pace with emerging technologies to provide players with better gaming experience and service as our ongoing commitment.
Ed, thank you so much for having us. Thank you for the interview and the opportunity. We had so much fun. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much too. And we are having the heartfelt appreciation. And we also well wish for the continued success of Nine Dynasty Groups in the future. Right? And we do love to participate in this expo every year, so that it allows us to bring more innovative gaming and service experience.
Bringing people together was just not revolutionary, it's visionary.
Pop culture is a framework that matters. And, it's just how I think about everything, and I think there's so much opportunity if you understand it. People confuse it. They hear ambition and humility, and they think there's potentially a contradiction in that. I actually think there's incredible strength in it, and they're required to sustain.
We've talked about some fantastic tech so far, but Dan and Jared, your interview with Gary Vee was very insightful and fascinating.
It was, Kate. Gary's view on technology and bringing people together was just not revolutionary, it's visionary. Let's jump in, shall we? Introduction is needed. Gary Vee thank you for having us, my brother. It's been a pleasure.
Thrilled to be here.
I have something for you then. How have you continued to stay relevant for so long among so many different generations and so many different genres?
I think it's a mix of two things right off the top that are mental, which is ambition and humility, which, can seemingly look different. Like people confuse it. They hear ambition and humility and they think there's potentially a contradiction in that. I actually think there's incredible strength in it and they're required to sustain. I think the reason I've sustained is I have crazy hunger. Like, I'm competitive, I'm a warrior. Like, I want it like that. But the humility, which is, okay, yes, I understand that I've accomplished a good amount by normal standards, but I don't think that makes me special. Like, it's really easy for me to interact with everyone because I really don't think I'm better than anyone. I really don't. I think I'm different. I think I got some stuff, but a lot of that's God-given talent. A lot of that's luck of the draw. It's why I put my parents on so much all the time, because with them, then it was me, right? Not even almost me, then me. So that's that. And then I think I'm talented at my craft, the stuff that I try to get all of you to do. When I'm yelling 4 years ago, get on TikTok, watching all of you not get on TikTok, I was like, bro, I've been doing this for 15 years. You all told me that you wish you jumped on Instagram when I told you. I'm telling you now TikTok, and you're telling me, nah, that's where little girls just dance. I'm not going there. You better listen next time. I can't wait for next time. Boy, am I hungry for next time. Because, it'll be another chance for me. You know how many people told me TikTok changed their life? Because they watched Tea with Gary Vee during COVID? It feels amazing. And so I think ambition and humility and then talent.
Beside everything you just said, look, Gary, let's say no responsibilities, no accountability.
Yep.
You don't want to you're not going to be an owner of the Jets.
Yep.
You're just a regular guy.
Yep.
Where are you going? Who are you? You're just a normal person that no one knows you. What would you be doing?
Exactly what I'm doing.
Exactly what you're doing. You wouldn't just...
I am a normal guy doing what I want to be doing. That just happened to come along with the timing of the internet. Yeah. Bro, if the internet didn't come along, nobody knew who the guy was. I wasn't moving to Hollywood and being on TV. I need to be my own family and I need to be close to Jet games. So
Jets.
I need to be in New York.
Right.
That's my place. So who would I be? Exactly who you know. All this other stuff just happened to be timing.
Can you walk us through or tell us about VeeCon? I know VeeCon Pop Culture, you mentioned that as well. Tell us about inspiration for the future of VeeCon. Where do you see it going? And how do you see it tying with pop culture?
Pop culture is a framework that matters. And, it's just how I think about everything, and I think there's so much opportunity if you understand it. So that's a big theme to your point. The future, I have one more that I have to do contractually based on me selling the 3 years of a ticket. And so I'm focused on that. How do I make next year better, more focused? What content do I want to fill it with? And then finally, I think it comes down to, after that, I got to really reassess and figure out what I want to do with it, if anything. And so that's kind of where my head's at.
Incredible. Thank you so much, Gary.
Thanks for having me on the show.
Thank you very much, Gary.
Thank you for having me on the show.
But now let me tell you about the app pick of the week. It is TikTok Shop. TikTok Shop is transforming commerce, e-commerce all around the world, not just in the Philippines, Southeast Asia. It's blowing up all over the US right now. People are selling millions of dollars in e-commerce on TikTok. Who would have thought live shopping would be a thing all around the world?
It kind of reminds me when I started Amazon in 2012. It's exciting, it's new, and you still can dominate that space.
That's funny you mentioned that. I've been on TikTok so much. Ever since streaming on TikTok, I'm starting to get into shopping a little bit. I don't want to admit it, but I love what they're doing. It is really good for the commerce. It's great for our community. I'm all with it.
That's right, Jared. You know what I love about TikTok Shop is it gives everyone a chance to thrive and make a living. Time flies so fast. We hope you enjoy the last 30 minutes exploring what is new in the world of technology.
That's right, Kate. And always remember that who we are tomorrow begins with what we do today.
So join us next time for another astonishing, extraordinary, and incredible trip to the future.
Technology is changing science fiction concepts into a reality. What was first thought as imagination is now physical and visible.
Fantastic inventions are in the midst. From robotics to machine learning to artificial intelligence, advancements abound everywhere.
Accelerating technology means you have to keep up. What was a game changer last year is obsolete.
The clock is ticking.
Brace yourselves.
For we have seen
The future.
We have an amazing show lined up for you. We're diving into the future of money, how businesses will handle lending, the role of emerging markets, and so much more.
With the future of money, what's most exciting to me is financial inclusion. Addressing populations which could be unbanked, which could be underbanked, which maybe they have an account for payroll, but they're not using it to actually build a profile, or SMEs. Enable them to have more choice and competition, which means they'll have financial products that suit them.
I think the nature of money is going to become more and more digital. Stable coins, central bank digital currencies. They're in the concept stage right now, but in the next few years, you'll see them mainstream in the Philippines also.
We are the first AI-based crypto community. That is, of course, like a Web3 elements as well, where we gamify the whole learning process. And we encourage people to come together and to share the experience, learn about crypto, have fun, and of course, we also offer AI signals as well.
I'm super excited because we have Todd from Broncos. He's going to talk through about the future of open finance and how this is completely changing the game for businesses all around the world.
I can't wait to hear more about it.
We are talking about all things the future of money. Today I have Todd Schweitzer from Broncos. He's the CEO and founder. And Todd, I really want to dive in. If we're going to talk about the future, we need to talk about the past. Can you explain what is open finance and what's been the past of open finance?
So if you think about the evolution of banking, it started with branches and humans, and your experience with financial services is in person, dealing with the branch counter, dealing with cash, right? So we can call that banking 1.0. Banking 2.0 is digital banking. And that's the bank apps and the online banking and checking your accounts, even sending payments using the bank apps. We're now entering an era of open finance where you're separating financial products from how customers choose to access those products. And that allows greater choice for consumers, and it allows greater competition in designing products that fit for those consumers.
I've heard that there's a lot of people around the world that don't have banks. They don't have access to these apps. So do you see open finance and what you're doing as a way for companies around the world to start offering these services to these people that don't have banks or don't currently have access to these financial services?
Yeah, so open finance and financial inclusion are actually one and the same. In Indonesia and the Philippines, for example, less than 50% of the population has regular access to a bank account. And there are many reasons for this. One is these are island nations where logistics is complicated, and setting up a branch to serve a low-income rural population is very expensive, right? Also, for the newly banked or unbanked population, they need different services than the professional class in Jakarta or Manila might need. And so what open finance does is allows for more customizable financial products that serve that population. And it allows for a lower cost of servicing, which is to say, you don't need to set up a new branch and the IT operations and the staffing and the moving the cash out to an island province, because you can enable APIs plugging into a third-party app, and that app can do the onboarding for you. Another piece of open finance, and part of the reason we refer to open finance in emerging markets, not open banking, is because a lot of customers that are unbanked still have a financial relationship. In the Philippines or in Indonesia or Vietnam, that might be remittances, right? So they're receiving regular remittances into the country from a family member that's working abroad on a ship, as a domestic worker, as a hospitality worker in Dubai, for example. They're sending money back to their family every month or every week. That can serve as an alternative credit score for this person back in the homeland to access a loan and not needing to use an informal lender, right, at 20% interest per month.
What are you seeing and what do you think the future is of business lending?
Yeah, Branca sees a lot of opportunity with SME banking in open finance. This is a very new area of open finance, not just in Southeast Asia, but also where Brancas has expanded within the Middle East. I think for SME banking and open finance, this is the cutting edge of open finance today. A lot of banks are still focusing on corporate clients, which is really the bread and butter of the banking business, and they're focusing on high income retail customers. And a lot of these small businesses kind of get lost in the middle, but actually it's a big driver of the economy in a lot of these markets. And so providing ways to access and serve SMEs, providing alternative credit scoring for these SMEs as well, or ways of verifying the health of the underlying business for these SMEs is crucial. And we see a lot of examples of open finance to serve SME banking as well.
So how do you see technology enabling people to expand their business?
Technology and open finance in particular has enabled cross-border financial services much more easily than it used to be. You have ways of checking identity. So for example, in Singapore now, you can use your SingPass login for government services and even to log in and create a new bank account, right? So having portable identity, portable data, and embedded financial services in the apps you use day to day allows for much easier management of your financial services as an individual and also as a business that's expanding into multiple markets.
What do you think is going to be the biggest challenge with open finance or even misconceptions?
I think the biggest misconception is for banks is that this is purely a cost and a compliance exercise in markets where there's an open finance mandate or requirement. But actually, there is a competitive advantage for the banks that embrace open finance and treat this as a business driver moving forward. With the future of money, what's most exciting to me is financial inclusion. Addressing populations which could be unbanked, which could be underbanked, which maybe they have an account for payroll, but they're not using it to actually build a profile, or SMEs, as we talked about earlier. Enable them to have more choice and competition, which means they'll have financial products that suit them, right? For small businesses in Southeast Asia, it means they can plug into exporter and importer networks more easily and lower their cost of doing business and reach new markets. So that's what's exciting to me. It's open finance as a driver for competition that allows consumers and businesses to find the financial products that work for them.
Something that really fascinated me about Brancas was what he talked about financial inclusion. Being able to allow people from all around the world to get business lending, to get bank accounts, to really do more than just a bank account, make money, other things that a lot of times they can't do right now because they don't have access to those apps.
Well, absolutely. I mean, here in the Philippines, they really had to fix the problem of requiring so many paperwork. Me as an entrepreneur, just looking at the requirements, I was like, forget about it. This is gonna take so much time. So someone has to solve the problem. So I love the concept and mission of financial inclusion, knowing that in the Philippines, we have 79% of people don't have banks here. Can you believe that?
That's incredible. I think what's very fascinating about this, because I think we can all agree that through the years, we have been noticing that the learning curve has been getting less and less. And you're seeing companies like Brancas coming to the picture, and it's almost getting to the point where it's user-friendly. And from our understanding, at least the viewers know this, as well as we do, of course, mobile usage of phones with banks, it's really the norm these days. So I think this is a really great opportunity for Brancas to really show what they can do out here in the Philippines.
Stick around, we've got a lot to unpack, but we will be right back after this commercial break.
I think the nature of money is going to become more and more digital. Stable coins, central bank digital currencies, They're in the concept stage right now, but in the next 3 years, you'll see them mainstream in the Philippines also.
What makes sense for you when it comes to the future of money? We talk about the future of money. I do love the convenience of just one QR code, pay someone else. Who carries money at this point? Do you carry money, Jared?
No, I mean, let's just be real here. Like, no one really cares about the tech. No one cares about what's really behind the curtains. Just like you were saying, Kate. If we have a QR code, let's scan it, done deal. Let's go on with my life, right?
Yeah, I never carry cash. The fact when I have to go somewhere and I want to spend money and I have to look for cash, it's always problematic for me. I'm also seeing a big change when it comes to physical bank locations. People are on the go, they're busy, they're more busy now than they've ever been, and they don't want to have to go inside of a bank. They want to be able to do everything on the phone. They want to be able to access what they need from the phone, from different applications. It's really great that we had Union Digital and we had Henry Aguda, and he was really talking about the advancement around digitizing so many options so we don't have to necessarily do them inside of a bank.
Today we have Henry Aguda from Union Digital. Henry, welcome. So nice having you here. Now, let's talk about what is the future of money?
I think the nature of money is going to become more and more digital. Stable coins, central bank digital currencies. They're in the concept stage right now, but in the next 3 years, you'll see them mainstream in the Philippines also.
I love the convenience of just playing just one click, one QR code. Let's talk about lending for entrepreneurs. What does that look like? I mean, Henry, I'm an entrepreneur and I've asked several banks, and there's a lot of requirements. Hopefully, blockchain can solve that ASAP. But can you tell us how easy it is to get funding?
Okay, from Union Digital, we're just about to launch our MSME and SMME lending towards the latter part of this year. And why is that? We started with individual loans. So we tested our underwriting software so that we can make it less document intensive. And I think we have the formula. Now, it's a different thing for businesses. We need to figure out who can we lend to. And that requires very good underwriting, meaning we need to know your credit history. But you know how it is in the Philippines. 90% of the small and medium businesses don't have credit history. If they do, they may be in pen and paper. And collecting information that are paper-based jacks up the price for processing loans. So we're going to do a full digital underwriting. How does that happen? You should be able to go to a website or our app where you could just take scans of your documents. So we need to have alternative sources of scoring. We're looking at social media. We're looking at your phone use. We're looking at maybe bank accounts. All of this with your permission to share. And as soon as you're able to share it with us, the fulfillment of the loan or the loan originating has to be fully digital, meaning you don't have to go online.
What advice would you give for entrepreneurs? So, if you can give them 3 advice how to get funding. I mean, you mentioned social media and really making sure you have your ducks in a row, those paper trail, right? Because we all like to do it manually, but what advice would you give for entrepreneurs wanting to get funding?
Well, first, if you're an entrepreneur, you have to really have an intimate and clear understanding of your business model. By doing that, you will understand how much money you need. Because, like most businesses, you cannot undercapitalize it and you cannot borrow too much. That's a lot of waste. Second, there are a lot of online sites out there and blog sites that lead you to lending and funding options. So you could either borrow from a bank or get it from a potential equity partner. Assuming you determine that you want to borrow from a bank, make sure that the amount that you pay for processing is the lowest possible. And you can only do that if you borrow from a digital lender. And maybe the third and most important, you have to pay your loans. So that gives you the credit history that will propel you forward in the future for bigger loans. But if you default, that's going to be a problem that you will carry for the rest of your business.
Wow, that's an eye-opening. So one default, you're going to be blacklisted. We call it like, we get dinged a lot in the US. Like if you're late, it's there for 7 years. Oh, that's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. What an amazing input. And Henry, thank you for...
My pleasure, my pleasure.
Thank you.
That's a lot to think about, isn't it? Well, we'll be right back after this commercial break.
We are the first AI-based crypto community. That is, of course, like a Web3 elements as well, where we gamify the whole learning process. And we encourage people to come together and to share the experience, learn about crypto, have fun, and of course, we also offer AI signals as well.
And we're back. Before we go, though, I have something super important. I have my app pick of the week. And so some that we have is really special because this is an app I've been using for the last few months, and I really wanted to talk about it. It is called Rolla AI. It's a social community. And Kate, you've said this before. Community is the future of what?
Future of brand. You can't launch any product or services in the future without community. I mean, it is where you acquire customer. Look, we are ADD with a lot of simulation. Where can we get information? Through our WhatsApp community, right? So community is the future of brand. It's really for everyone to pay attention to.
Exactly, and Rolla is really focused on building community. That is their number one thing. Jared was able to interview the CPO, Rosalind Lee of Rolla AI.
Now we're here today with a special guest. We're with CPO Rosalind Lee from Rolla. How are you doing?
I'm good. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it's good to have you here. Now, for our viewers, can you explain what Rolla is so that maybe a 10-year-old can understand, like the casual audience viewer?
Basically, we are the first AI-based crypto community. That is, of course, like a Web3 elements as well, where we gamify the whole learning process. And we encourage people to come together and to share the experience, learn about crypto, have fun, and of course, we also offer AI signals as well.
So what makes social and community vital for the cryptocurrency space? And how does that play a role in affect people here in the Philippines?
If you look at crypto at itself, so there are several components that is unique in crypto. The first one is the volatility itself. The second one is the hurdles and difficulties. The third one is the sentiment. So we actually run some natural language processing and machine learning algorithms, not to feed you with fake news, but we just try to understand what are the concerns, what are the questions, which part of the crypto market they don't understand. And we found out, interestingly, in our 200,000 users, actually they care a lot about experience and what do you think. So actually they would like to learn from each other's experience. And especially they like asking, what is your worst rug pull? I mean, how did you get through a rug pull? How did you get through like all those losses? And yeah, I mean, and then you see people like really sharing the worst or the best experience and trying to support each other. And in such a volatile market, you just need it. I mean, yes. I mean, sometimes you need some comforts or you just need some honest advice. So I think in such a volatile market, you just need to have such a support from the community. And especially it is really depending on sentiments a lot. Like you don't know who will post online about like a dark coin again. And then it costs like such the volatility. You just need the support. And in the Philippines, it is quite fascinating to see the community here because people in the Philippines are very passionate. They love to share their experience, they're very expressive, and they're very warm and they care each other. So we see a lot of warm comments and warm support, and they really try to help each other out. And we love the vibe here in Philippines.
Yeah, you couldn't have said it best. Filipinos with our hospitality type of a vibe. And indeed, when you say we're in a unique position here in the Philippines. I'm sure you guys have done your research and understood that the Philippines might or has to be in the top 5 in terms of mobile phone usage and crypto usage at a really high rate. Now, many people see cryptocurrency as a way to democratize finance. How can Rolla and other crypto companies empower individuals, particularly in the Philippines? Now, that really means greater inclusion and so that social media component and bringing it all together. How does that go?
Yep, so we see the main difficulties that the Filipinos, or like some people around the world, is facing is, of course, the underbanking issues. So we have a lot of experience seeing people, they don't have a bank account, or even with a bank account, they face difficulties with remittance, which actually cause a lot of problems and a lot of inconvenience. So for other crypto companies who work on cross-border payment, they can empower these people to have seamless transactions and to ensure that there's no hurdles or no hassles relating to any banking transactions, because crypto, they get settled instantly. And for us, we are a social media platform, and we help people to learn about crypto, and they can earn crypto on our platform. It helps them to ease the transition as well, because so you have some companies providing crypto services, helping people to make settlements instantly, but people have to understand how to use it. I mean, there are a lot of setups, a lot of operations, like choosing the right network, choosing the right chain, importing the right thing, and doing everything correctly. It takes a lot of effort and a steep learning curve for a lot of people. So for us, our main mission is to make sure people understand the process and to learn the whole process, like in a fun way or accessible way. And then they equip with the necessary skills to actually operate those cryptos and like any other services other providers are providing. So we're empowering them to understand and to enjoy every other things that other projects have to offer.
Thanks, Jared. I guess the future of brand really is community, and glad to see that they are building the community here in the Philippines and beyond.
I hate to say it, but in our society, we're all about social media these days, especially here in the Philippines. So to see a company like Rolla introducing social media component into the crypto industry, it makes sense. Obviously, what Kate was saying, everything's about community. The crypto industry, it's about community. So just tying the social media component into that, I think that's going to brighten it up like a star, and it's going to make it a lot easier for people to onboard into the crypto industry, if you will, aside from click this wallet, click this exchange, click. It's going to be a little bit better, I think, going about this route.
To solve the seamless, the, makes it more seamless. Interoperability. What an amazing episode. Thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. Stay tuned for more intriguing discussions on the future of technology.
We'll see you next time on
The Future. Bye, guys.
Technology is changing science fiction concepts into a reality. What was first thought as imagination is now physical and visible.
Fantastic inventions are in the midst. From robotics to machine learning to artificial intelligence, advancements abound everywhere.
Accelerating technology means you have to keep up. What was a game changer last year is obsolete.
The clock is ticking.
Brace yourselves.
For we have seen
The future.
In every episode, we will look at both the online and offline worlds to explore what is next in technology. We're not just giving you a peek, we're giving you a front row seat.
If it's game-changing, innovative, it's here on The Future.
And trust me, you don't want to miss a second. Here's what's happening in the next 30 minutes.
There's a lot of really, really cool games out there now, and there's a lot of good developers. The way that this is revolutionizing gaming and beyond, this whole silly concept of Web 2, Web 3, is it's real game ownership. So if you're operating a node, you get to put your own monsters in that. So you have that part of the game. And if you're a player, you get to go play in somebody else's node that they've specifically made tough just for you.
Celeros, what we're building is essentially the Fortnite of motorsport. Flying race car series that you're going to be seeing building over the next, an experience that you're going to start to see through the 2024 season, which is going to blow your mind.
Star Atlas has a really ambitious vision behind all of it. Let me just start with our flagship product line, and that is a AAA grand strategy space exploration MMO. We're building that in Unreal Engine 5, and it includes gameplay mechanics such as flying around space, conquering territory, controlling territories diplomatically, engaging in PvP, and all of the things that we've come to expect from a mainstream AAA game.
I think it's really exciting, obviously, where it's the future of sports and the future of entertainment. And I like the way it's naturally and digitally native. And I think that there's so much growth to be had, and it's so new to this region that, being here and doing gaming in this part of the world is exciting.
We have a special guest, Jason Brink, president of blockchain at Gala Games. Now, Gala Games is revolutionizing the gaming industry, and their latest creation, The Last Expedition, is a prime example. Really, the game is setting new standards in player engagement and game economy. Jason, it's fantastic to have you here with us. Can we just dive right in and just tell us more about The Last Expedition, and how does it harness the power of the Gala chain?
Well, so there's a few different things about Last Expedition that really make it stand out. Now, first, let's talk about what it is at a very basic level. It's a first-person shooter, person versus person, player versus player, player versus environment game where your job is essentially to drop onto a hostile alien planet, find a critical resource called the core, and extract that core with your team. You're typically playing against 3 other teams of 4 as well. And your goal is to compete against those players and against the environment itself to take that core and win the game, essentially. It is a ridiculously fun game. But one of the things that's really, really cool about it is the fact that it actually runs in an entirely decentralized fashion across our node infrastructure. So everyone's been playing a game before and had that game server go down, or you have that mandatory server restart where you can't play anymore. Very, very frustrating for the average gamer. We run this across our network of decentralized nodes that are run by our Last Expedition players and node operators, so that when servers go down, when AWS East went down a few months ago, people were able to continue keeping on playing and having fun with the game in a way that was very unique, and it's not something that you see out there.
How do you see The Last Expedition influencing the future of gaming on blockchain platforms?
One of the things that I think is important about The Last Expedition, and this is getting better in the industry in general, but for a long time there hasn't been really any real games that are blockchain games. Now, that is changing very quickly. There's a lot of really, really cool games out there now, and there's a lot of good developers. The way that this is revolutionizing gaming and beyond, this whole silly concept of Web 2, Web 3, is it's real game ownership. So if you're operating a node, You get to put your own monsters in that, so you have that part of the game. And if you're a player, you get to go play in somebody else's node that they've specifically made tough just for you. And it's absolutely revolutionizing what game development is, what game in asset ownership is, and what it means to actually play a game.
I'm a big avid gamer myself. I play all the FPS games. So I know a little bit of the game mechanics and how fun the game itself it is. How does Gala Games ensure that The Last Expedition stays engaging and relevant for players over time? Because I know that's pretty big for FPS games.
Having a continual content pipeline is part of it, right? You know, you've got to have developers that are developing things, making new experiences, building new biomes, new maps. That's one thing that we're obviously doing and we're obviously committed to doing, because, you know, games aren't fun if it gets samey, right? But I think in the long run, what I hope to see happen, and this is something that you can see, you know, very, very easily with GalaChain itself and with a lot of what we're doing, is this concept of player engagement and allowing people to access the modding communities and things like that, allowing people to build content for games themselves. That's something that I would love to see in this space in general, and something that I hope that we're able to take advantage of with Last Expedition.
What aspects of The Last Expedition would you say you're most proud of?
The sound engineering in The Last Expedition is next level. When you're playing that game and you hear that ancient Ravager roaring from a mountaintop nearby, and you're there with your team and everyone's looking around trying to find where the monster's going to come from. And these Ravagers, they come out of nowhere and they will literally eat one of your team members and then run away. And so you have to chase after them. But the sound engineering is so good that you get a very palpable sense of fear. And it's incredibly engaging and fun.
I am so elated that I got to talk to you and you got the viewers to understand more about the game. Thank you so much for sharing your time and energy with us. We appreciate everything that you've been doing for the blockchain space. And of course, we can't wait to see and hear more about The Last Expedition.
Well, thank you very much for having me on.
Celeros, what we're building is essentially the Fortnite of motorsport. Flying race car series that you're going to be seeing building over the next, an experience that you're going to start to see through the 2024 season, which is going to blow your mind.
Star Atlas has a really ambitious vision behind all of it. Let me just start with our flagship product line, and that is a AAA grand strategy space exploration MMO. We're building that in Unreal Engine 5, and it includes gameplay mechanics such as flying around space, conquering territory, controlling territories diplomatically, engaging in PvP, and all of the things that we've come to expect from a mainstream AAA game.
We are very excited because we have a special guest, Len Finley, who's the CEO of Saltwater Games. They have an incredible game that just came out called Celeros. And what they are doing with the future of gaming, the future of esports is incredible. But Len, thank you so much for being with us today on The Future.
Hey, great to be here, Dan. Thank you very much for the invite.
I'd like to dive into what exactly is Celeros doing to combine real-life sports and in-game sports.
Celeros, what we're building is essentially the Fortnite of motorsport. So what that basically means is we're going to aggregate multiple IP into a game experience, and then we're going to build it around a motorsport economic system and a racetrack environment. So the first race series we're bringing in is actually based on Airspeeder. That is the real-world flying race car series that you're going to be seeing building over the next few years, but they may have an experience that you're going to start to see through the 2024 season, which is going to blow your mind.
Yeah, when you first told me about this, I didn't believe it. I didn't even understand it because it was hard to even fathom this is real, and it's incredible. And I can tell you're really at the forefront. I know there's something big that you've talked about on your website, in your videos. It's Play to Impact. What is that?
So Play to Impact is really about taking all the energy and all the income and all the revenue and all the things that happen within this game experience, dropping it into a bucket. That bucket then invests in environmental sustainability projects all around the world, as close to where the gamers are. So obviously what we're trying to do with our game is really create heroes in their local regions that then understand the kind of projects that we want to invest in. Now those projects need to generate a yield. That yield is basically that's how we balance the outflow of funds out through the tournament prizes. And it's also how we then create an income stream that is directed to social impact causes.
What's the most exciting thing about the future of gaming for you?
So in the digital world, and what makes me excited about gaming is we have an opportunity through our motorsport gaming experience. We have an opportunity to basically take future motorsports and train people in a game and in an arcade environment. So that way, when those flying cars turn up on the driveway outside your house, you roughly know how to fly it. So because of the game. So that way we're moving people into what is essentially sustainable transportation systems through the evolution of real world sustainable motorsport.
Awesome. Len, thank you again. Incredible knowledge. Love what you're doing. I can't wait to jump in. And thank you for being with us today on The Future and talking through what your insights are on the future of gaming and esports.
Anytime. Thank you very much. Cheers, Dan.
Jared and Kate, back to you.
That was an insightful conversation with Dan and Len from Saltwater Games. We're now shifting our gears to a revolutionary gaming experience. With us is Michael Wagner, CEO and co-founder of Star Atlas.
Good morning, JD. It's great to be on the show with you.
I'm so happy we finally get to have this discussion. Just for the new viewers out there, can you just give us a rundown of what is Star Atlas? Give us the breakdown.
Well, I'm always the first to admit that Star Atlas has a really ambitious vision behind all of it. There's quite a lot that we're building and innovating upon, but let me just start with our flagship product line, and that is a AAA grand strategy space exploration MMO. We're building that in Unreal Engine 5, and it includes gameplay mechanics such as flying around space, conquering territory, controlling territories diplomatically, engaging in PvP, and all of the things that we've come to expect from a mainstream AAA game. We're also building upon a browser-based implementation, a mobile fitness companion app, and then developing a world, to your exact point, that allows people to co-create and co-develop alongside us.
Now, just to get a little bit more down to the dirt with this game, you were talking a little bit about this in-game economy and all these different pieces that are all going to be put together. It's such a unique economic model. Now, can you explain how this all puts together, how the economy works and the impact it has on player engagement and strategy?
There are really two components to how we leverage blockchain technology within the game. And from the economic lens, there's also really two subcategories. So the first of which is NFTs, or non-fungible tokens, and this introduces true player ownership into the game. And while it could be argued that in traditional games, you own the assets that you've earned or collected, the reality is those assets are all stored on a centralized server, completely controlled by the game developer, the game studio. Whereas in Web3, using blockchain, those assets are stored in a wallet that you completely control. And we further permit our users and encourage our users to freely trade those on a peer-to-peer basis and be able to capitalize on any of the assets that they've earned. Now, the second component of Web3 is this idea of play to earn. And so having an in-game digital currency that is tokenized, which is the equivalent to something like an in-game gold, means that as you play and as you spend time in the game, you're actually able to earn a currency that has real-world value and is fully integrated into this alternative financial ecosystem that is crypto.
It's quite impressive, if you ask me. And being said, I keep going back to this, being an avid gamer, all these things sound amazing, and it's such a big universe that you're talking about with Star Atlas. How do you manage to keep this universe constantly
evolving and engaging the players to keep them interested?
In fairness, we're still early in the development cycle ourselves. We still have a number of years ahead of us to complete what we would consider to be a V1 or final version of the game. But a key component of the way that we develop and the way that we release products is that it is iterative and it is modular, and we are constantly releasing new features and new product to the community. And in so many ways, you can think about participation in Star Atlas as having backstage access to the development process itself, essentially peeling back the curtain and delivering to the user all of the guts, the internals of what it takes to build a game. And so your experience in Star Atlas is not only just playing the game and not just waiting 10 years for a AAA game to be released, but actually seeing it evolve through time and being there front and center, watching that evolve.
Michael, thank you for your time and energy, and we are so excited of this groundbreaking game that you've been building. We'll all be watching. Thanks again.
My pleasure, JD. Thank you.
When we return, Dan gives an exclusive App Pick of the Week, and Kate sits down with Ferdy Gutierrez from Amphers. All of these and more when we return on The Future, only here on CNN Philippines.
What it is running a gaming company?
I think it's really exciting, obviously, where it's the future of sports and the future of entertainment. And I like the way it's naturally and digitally native. And I think that there's so much growth to be had, and it's so new to this region that, being here and doing gaming in this part of the world is exciting.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the App Pick of the Week on The Future. It's calendar.com. If you're like me, you're super busy, yet find it hard to stay organized and you're working multiple projects. This app that I've been using for a few years has been essential for me. It's a revolutionary scheduling app. It simplifies things like group scheduling. You can have the ability to coordinate up to 10 people for webinars and events. It also offers powerful polling options for decision making that I've used. If you're like me, you want to say goodbye to scheduling hassles and boost your productivity. So go check out calendar.com on this App Pick of the Week for the future. Back to you all.
So today we have Ferdy Gutierrez, CEO and founder of Amphers. Ferdy, welcome.
Thanks, Kate.
So excited seeing you today. Ferdy, can you tell me what it is running a gaming company?
I think it's really exciting, obviously, where it's the future of sports and the future of entertainment. And I like the way it's naturally and digitally native. And I think that there's so much growth to be had, and it's so new to this region that, being here and doing gaming in this part of the world is exciting.
That's awesome. Now, how does a player makes money? How can they leverage their talents and skill sets to monetize in the angle of, can you tell us more about it?
Okay, so a player obviously gets a salary. And then if you're a professional player on one of our teams, you actually get a lot of your living expenses paid for, food, lodging, etc. So you don't worry about anything. So what you make is what you make. You also get a percentage of the winnings from all the tournaments that you participate in, and any kind of bonuses that we give as an incentive to be a better player.
Wow. I've heard it in the news years ago that, the esport player makes like X amount of money as much as the NFL money, right? Like crazy. Is that really the deal? Like esport is the thing, is as popular as NFL or your top basketball player out there?
I think in Asia it's not that kind of money yet, only because there's not the big broadcast rights. It's not like the NFL or EPL or even Major League Baseball or the NBA, where they have huge money that they can throw to the teams in order to drive salaries up. Until that happens, until there's major broadcast rights, the players' salaries are going to be pretty good for, the better than an office worker, but it's certainly not LeBron James, right? So, You know, we've got to, maybe in bigger games in, let's say, North America and Europe, you will get some players making a lot of money, but not that kind of money.
Awesome. Now, can you tell me about the landscape of the gaming team here in the Philippines? What does that look like?
There's two, I would say, major games in the Philippines. The major mobile game is Dota 2. The major mobile game is Mobile Legends. So, you know, we don't play in Dota 2. We like the mobile space because I think that that's where our expertise is. And we have a team called Minana. It's, you know, the league's been around a couple years, and we're really excited to be in the Pro League. It's an up and coming team. So we've been learning by losing at the moment, but I don't think that's going to happen much longer. I think we put in enough infrastructure. For example, we're investing in a development team. We've got more coaches. We've got analysts now that are working with the team to improve. So, you know, the landscape is, you know, there's a couple of big teams that are doing well, you know, that have been champions previously, and we're here to compete and get into the top 4, hopefully by this season.
Ferdy, can you tell us where can they find you? What's your site for anyone who wants to work with Amfirst?
Amfirst.com, www.amfirst.com. You can find us there. There is a careers page if you'd like to work with us. We're in several markets across Southeast Asia, Thailand, Philippines, Vietnam, and India at the moment, and we're going to probably be expanding again next year. So there's a lot of opportunities to work with us. Whether you're a creator, whether you're a player, whether you want to get into the business of gaming, that's what we do. We build a business out of the gaming space.
Thank you so much, Ferdy, for your time, and we're honored having you here today.
Absolutely. Thank you, Kate.
Time flies so fast. We hope you enjoy the last 30 minutes exploring what is new in the world of technology.
That's right, Kate. And always remember that who we are tomorrow begins with what we do today.
So join us next time for another astonishing, extraordinary, and incredible trip to the future.